Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be speaking all about the 1976 penny. Now most of them are not worth much, but there are a few where you can look closely to see if you've got either something a few collectors would be interested in, maybe it's a variety where you look closely, it's not on most coins, something went wrong in the process that's used to make the dies that then strike the coins. You also might have an error or conditional rarity or something else of interest, and I'm going to be covering all of the main known things on the 1976 penny so that you have a really good basis to start treasure hunting these and seeing if there's anything special on yours. We'll go into a PowerPoint presentation with clear photos, a hopefully clear explanation, and approximate values, and we'll start right there. And we'll jump into this 1976 Lincoln cent. It's part of the 1959 was 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, so they included the Lincoln Memorial, switching away from the wheat penny. There's some more information here as well as like some key dates or varieties. There's really only varieties that you can look for. These are going to be copper composition, but you can't melt them down even though the 95% copper in them is worth like 2 cents or so, at least it is today. Over 4.5 billion of these were produced, so they are plentiful. But you shouldn't get them graded unless they're going to PCGS, they're going to be fully red, and they're going to get mint state 67 or better. Really, you want 67 with upside, because if you get even a 66 plus or 66, you've already lost money. So maybe you can break even if you get the right rate for the 66 plus, but those are very rare and don't come out too much. What you should be looking for are some of the double dies. So these are going to be what's known as the the extra thickness double dies, distended hub double dies, and you can see it, it's easier to have comparison to what they should look like. Like if you look back, the 7 is pretty thin, and so is the Liberty, but in these cases it's like a really significant amount of extra thickness, and it'll be even easier to see in just a moment on one of our other. This one's probably like the most minor one where you can see the thickness slightly, but this one's easiest to have other coins next to it. Here it's a really nice example where there's even distortion, the doubling, the coin is getting pulled out. You can see the E, it's like there's almost like a little bit of a curvature because the top and bottom of the letter are getting pulled out a bit. Same thing, thickness in the R and the T, all through the Liberty and in the date. This one is going to be worth a little bit more, maybe $20, and these are for non-certified coins. So this is one of the more pleasing extra thickness varieties. A 1943 penny extra thickness variety is also one that stands out. In terms of some of the errors, I just did want to showcase a few of them because I find them interesting. This one was struck 25% off center on a dime blank, so that's already something really interesting, being struck on a dime blank, but it was also off center. It's always great for errors when they have the dates. That way collectors can understand like how rare they are relative to other coins. Is this a rare date to have off-center coins, that sort of thing, or struck on dime coins. $13.50 was a nice price for this. After that, we've got a Cud die break, a bit more attainable. Basically what happens is the dies that are used to strike the coins, they can wear down, and so in this case something chipped off. It's often the case that they chip off at the top or the bottom, but in this case it chipped off at the top, and then the metal flows in, and then it doesn't properly strike the back of the coin. So this one's a nice one, was picked out shortly after it was produced, sold for $110, and those have been more popular recently. And then this one is a great struck 80% off center error because it has the date. Most of these, if you think about the area that most of it would get struck off center, it probably wouldn't have the full 1976 as nice as it is right there. And so this was $170. Somebody paid for it. So some cool errors that I always like to showcase, but really the trick is going to be being willing to look and really discern, is this an extra thickness double die class 6? This is the big one to look for, but there's also this as well as this, and the number 1 and number 3 could be certified at ANAC, so it probably wouldn't be worth it unless you've got like a really nice red, maybe mint state 66 or 67s probably should go to PCGS where you wouldn't get the attribution, but there is a market on like gorgeous, flawless 1976s. I try not to mislead, focus more on the varieties though. And so that brings us to the end of this one. Have a great day and keep checking that change. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like the video, comment, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. And I also have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and some other social media platforms. You can also go to my main channel website, treasuretownYT.com, to learn more about the channel and sort of stay in contact. I also will eventually host all of these videos on coinsmetalscards.com, which will be both news, marketplace, and coin information. I do have the goal of eventually getting pretty much every US coin, date, mint mark, denomination on the channel with a similar video to the one that you just watched, and that will likely all be hosted there. And then I also have treasuretowncoins.com, which is sort of my coin dealing wing, coin dealing only entity that is a little bit less focused on content production. So thank you so much, and I'll look forward to seeing you on some of my other videos. I also have videos that are not just the date, mint mark, denomination recap in this format, so you can check some of those out, and I'll have fun seeing you there.